A man who stands tall with his chest up because he is so certain of who he is and what he's capable of. So it's funny that to be that beast of a man, it actually requires you to be vulnerable. What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. This week we're talking about masculinity and incorporating that with the importance of vulnerability. Now on Tuesday we talked about toxic masculinity and how that reflects insecurity. We also went over the definition of what it means to be an alpha male and how that idea is actually killing the male population. So to try to bring a solution to that, I'm gonna do what I can do best, which is teaching you guys how to practice vulnerability. And I'm gonna walk you through the steps so that it makes sense for you as to why vulnerability can help you become the man that you've always wanted to be. So to start, get a sheet of paper or get your phone out, do something, just think out loud and write it somewhere that you can actually apply it and see it. And then take a moment to think and write down a list of what kind of man you want to be. What kind of man have you always wanted to be? What kind of father would you like to be? What kind of son would you like to be? What kind of boyfriend do you want to be? What kind of husband do you want to be? What kind of athlete? What kind of coach? What kind of co-worker, employee? What kind of boss? What kind of entrepreneur? What kind of CEO would you like to be? What kind of role model would you like to be? What kind of man would you like to be that you didn't really have in your life growing up? What kind of man would you like to be remembered as? So take a moment, write that all down. Alright, so whatever it is that you wrote down, I'm gonna guess what you wrote down. I'm not gonna peek, but I'm gonna guess. And to guess, I'm just gonna summarize what you might have written down. It's not that you want to be an alpha male, because just like we went over on Tuesday, an alpha male might be strong, he might be confident, but an alpha male actually lacks a level of self-awareness. And we also went over how and why a lack of self-awareness can result in insecurity and uncertainty. So I'm gonna guess that it's not actually an alpha male that you want to be. You want to be a man of certainty. Not just a man of confidence, a man of certainty. So let's break that down. If you want to be a great boyfriend, if you want to be the boyfriend who is different than any other exes, like you got that shit down, like you are compassionate. You are the boyfriend who listens. You are the boyfriend who considers something without even being told to consider something. You are the boyfriend who is strong and protective and reliable, like yo, I could see this man, I could see this boy being my husband one day. That is the kind of boyfriend that you want to be. If you want to be a great husband, a husband who is reliable, a husband who always provides, a husband who always goes above and beyond, a husband who gives the best cuddles. If you want to be a beast of a businessman, an unstoppable entrepreneur, a very reliable, a very consistent CEO, you definitely need, you need a high level of self-awareness, because the journey of business is so inconsistent. It's such an emotional roller coaster. Everybody knows that. So when you have a boss who is easily reactive. A boss who gets ticked off, who gets angry, who just starts yelling at everybody because of his emotional insecurity and uncertainty. Because something went in a way that he doesn't like. And he reacts to it. Nobody wants to work for a boss like that. Nobody wants to work for a reactive boss man. Nobody wants to do business with somebody who is easily reactive. And because being an entrepreneur at the end of the day is a solo journey, you can only rely on yourself. It's so easy to fall in the traps. It's so easy to fall under pressure. It's so easy to fall into entrepreneurial depression. This is why you want to be a man of certainty. A man who is completely, totally aware of his physical capabilities. A man who is totally aware of his mental capacity. A man who is totally certain of his emotional intelligence. A man who stands tall with his chest up because he is so certain of who he is and what he's capable of. That's the kind of man that you want to be. So it's funny that to be that beast of a man, it actually requires you to be vulnerable. On Tuesday, I mentioned that self-awareness isn't about knowing who you are and who you can be in a familiar situation. I said that self-awareness is about knowing who you are and who you can be in an unfamiliar situation, a different environment, under different circumstances, under different pressure. Therefore, to get to that level of self-awareness, you have to put yourself in uncomfortable situations. So how do you put yourself in uncomfortable situations? Ask yourself the uncomfortable questions. Ask yourself the questions that you've been avoiding. Ask yourself the questions that you don't like to be asked. This is where awareness begins. So I have a list of questions here that I'm just gonna use as examples. But at the same time, I hope that you actually do take them seriously. And I hope that you take a moment to reflect on these questions. Close your eyes if you need to. Please be serious about this. And please be honest with yourself. What is a question you often avoid asking yourself? What is a question you often avoid being asked? What's your kryptonite? And don't say nothing. Fuck that. What is your kryptonite? What are the kinds of situations that make you want to get drunk? What do you tend to do to avoid pain? What do you not like to talk about? What's that thing that you really do want to talk about, but have no one to talk about it with? What makes you hesitate? Uncertain? Have you ever loved somebody? Why didn't that work out? How did your mother treat you growing up? How did your father treat you growing up? Who put a lot of expectations on you? Who have you disappointed? How does that make you feel? Do you tend to make up for it? How have you been hurt? How are you hurting right now? What do you need right now? Do you often ask for help? Do you wear a mask? Do you protect yourself with muscles? Do you protect yourself with aggression? Do you put up a front on social media? Are you too good? Are you too cool? Do you wish someone was truly there for you? Do you wish someone was there to listen? Do you have trust issues? Has someone betrayed your trust in the past? How do you feel about your body image? What do you think other people think about you? What do you think the people you love think about you? Now, like I said, these questions are just examples that I came up with. I'm just letting you know that to become self-aware, you have to ask the uncomfortable questions. You have to be able to answer them. You have to be able to dig and dig and dig. You have to get super uncomfortable. You have to almost cry sometimes. You can talk to the people who you consider to be the closest to you. You can talk to the people who you might love the most, but also hurt the most. Ask them to ask you a question. The goal here is to find out the root cause of your personality, of your habits, of your aggression, why you are the way that you are, and why you tend to react to certain situations the way that you tend to react to certain situations. If you need help, I'm leaving my contact information in the description box. Please feel free to email me. I would love to help you, and we can set up a free session at no cost to you. I really want to help you through this. I really want to walk you through this. This is really important to me, and I hope it's important for you too. I really care about our men, and I do believe that vulnerability is the key to healing. So please feel free to hit me up, and I'll see you Sunday.